In the EU, 50% of biomass is being wasted. At the same time, we have a global food crisis looming on the horizon, requiring us to produce an additional 60% protein in the next 25 years. Today, the fastest growing food sector is the aquaculture industry. This industry is poised to facilitate a part of the necessary growth required to produce protein in the future. However, doing so in a net positive way requires this industry, like many others, to change. In this case, it requires them to change in what feed they're using in their feed, what feed ingredients. Today, they're currently using primarily fish meal and soy protein concentrate. And these core products are either being produced at maximum capacity or are depleting our ecosystems. This has generated a huge supply gap in this industry, requiring these players to actively look and find protein sources that can be highly scalable and cost efficient and compete with these existing traditional sources. Our solution is circular fungal fermentation plants. By co-locating with feedstock providers, we can unlock operational benefits across both parties, both the feedstock provider and us, enabling us to produce proteins at an unprecedented scale. These are highly scalable and highly nutritious proteins that can be used in many different industries, where our first use case is aquafeed. In this industry, it provides roughly 9x lower greenhouse gas emissions compared to current protein uses, so the ones that I just mentioned, about 3 times lower production costs compared to the most mature alt protein systems, about 2 times higher product output per plant compared to the most mature alt protein solutions, and as a feed ingredient and as a product, fungal proteins have been shown to be an excellent source of proteins in aquafeed and beyond. We are ready to scale now. After having designed, built, and operated our own continuous industrial plant, albeit in a smaller scale, for the past 6 months, we know what it takes to scale. We have built this inside a pulp mill, and it's operational right now. After having experienced teething problems, scaling up, as I'm sure some of you have experienced, we have rebuilt, learned, and optimized our process, offering a de-risked value proposition. We have LOIs with intake and off-takers in the pulp mill and in the aquaculture industry, the aquafeed industry. And we've also importantly received an indicatively positive support from the Export Credit Agency in Sweden, enabling us to finance a large part of the initial capex in the first full-scale plant by secured debt. We are a varied team with many different sort of expertise, so from pioneering fungal research all the way to large-scale capex financing and competency within project financing. Our current first focus on our first plant that I just mentioned is roughly to scale to 20,000 metric tons of this product per annum, generating roughly 30 million euros of annual revenue. In the next coming few years, we have an additional 5 plants in our pipeline, generating an additional 200 to 250 million euros in annual revenue. We're currently raising for our first plant, which is going to be roughly 50 million euros, both in the DevCo and in the AssetCo. A majority of this will be debt financed, as I mentioned, but we are also fundraising for equity in the DevCo and partly for capex as well. At Cirkulär, we like to walk the talk. So for anyone interested in seeing and experiencing the circular industrial revolution for themselves, please reach out to me, and I would be happy to invite you over to our plant and dig into the details. Thank you very much.